Yo, 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 Big Catch back up in here. Hey, look, Drake know he about to flop. Drake know his album is about to flop. I don't care if you doing it with Party Next Door. I don't care if you doing it with The Weeknd, which is not going to happen. I don't care if you doing it with whoever is going to flop. You know why? Because you're on it. And he's crashing out. And look, we about to have a marvelous 2025. I hope y'all are ready. I hope y'all are ready for this 2025. Shout out to Fantastic Hip Hop. We are in for something special with this video. Are y'all ready? I know I'm ready. Why Drake is crashing out because he know his album will flop. Y'all know I'm like holding y'all. Without further ado, let's get it.
Now, when it comes to Drake, we almost just had a news story that didn't involve him running away from his own failure and finding more ways to become the most pathetic rapper of all time for a change, and instead, we were about to see Drake at least try to do something with the effort to at least improve his reputation to the people, as he was expected to release his upcoming collab album that he has been teasing with Party Next Door on January 31st. But now, just when Drake was actually about to get back to the music, at the last minute before locking in the release of his first album since losing to Kendrick Lamar like we have never seen, Drake decided to pull this record from dropping and is now holding it back, and the reason why this seems
Y'all see that? Y'all see that? He's holding it back from dropping. He don't want to drop it no more.
To be is because none other than the superstar from the same place as him in The Weeknd is dropping one of the most anticipated albums out right now with what is said to be his final record, Hurry Up Tomorrow. And now with all of the hype around this project, even Drake has realized that he does not stand a chance against it. But now seemingly with Drake being at a point where beyond being scared of just Kendrick Lamar, he is now also scared of The Weeknd, as releasing this record now was the last time he could have.
Who think The Weeknd gonna have some jabs up in there? I think he gonna have some jabs up in there because you remember we was talking about how he tried to act like The Weeknd wasn't there and all that. Yeah, The Weeknd gonna have some jabs up in there. Better believe that. Believe that. Believe that.
Have before the Super Bowl and Grammy season comes around, and before Not Like Us, Kendrick Lamar, and the impact of everything that has happened in rap sticks more than we have ever seen. With Drake getting even more scared, he may have just made the move that he is going to look back on as the last chance he ever had to save his career. But now before we go any further into this, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. And so now with this entire moment between Drake and The Weeknd, this has been one of the most important and pivotal stories to come out of the music industry so far this year, because even just with the information being revealed that Drake and Party were even planning on dropping their collab project in this time, considering the way the official report was released and what it was exactly stating, there immediately was a ton of conversation from all sides of the music world on whether this really was true or whether this story was planned from The Weeknd's team to add more hype to his album and to make Weeknd look like an even bigger force in the music industry who would make Drake look scared as a whole. And I mean, when it comes to the back and forth that fan bases are having, and really the attempt from Drake and OVO to try and defend and make Drake look better than he is, because if this story really turns out to be true, over everything it is showing that Drake just does not believe in himself and his own abilities as a star anymore. Putting things into perspective, when you understand Drake and The Weeknd's beef, and also their proximity to one another and their teams just because of where they are from, we can really see that with this entire report. While The Weeknd's team definitely were the ones who were behind getting this information out to the public, because I mean, it shouldn't be surprising that one of the artists with the biggest teams in the world and who is in a direct back and forth with Drake that is so personal was able to get a hold of this information.
And who y'all rocking with more, The Weeknd or Party Next Door? I don't know too many Party Next Door joints. But I'm going to have to go with The Weeknd.
And just adding even more to this, if we go back to The Weeknd's feature from We Still Don't Trust You's track All to Myself, he literally did tell us how Drake has leaks in his operation. And already in the past, we have found out that lyric to be more than true, as Drake's team has just embarrassed him over and over again. All in all, everyone and Drake fans specifically have to realize in this time, where especially because of what Drake is doing, where because of what he is trying to accuse Not Like Us of, he is literally setting a precedent that he will try and use other people's words to take them down. From just the awful precedent Drake has now set with that record to also the fact that The Weeknd is one of the most professional people in the entire music industry.
Right,
And this is
right.
why, unlike someone like Drake, for example, he has gotten so many opportunities and his status and name has just increased more and more over the years. This story just didn't come out of nowhere, and I mean beyond trying to put together what we don't know. What we do know for sure is that we have all seen Drake increasingly post more and more that is teasing what is to come in this entire era that him and
No, what he need to stop doing is posting. That's what he need to stop doing. He need to stop posting all of those selfie pics in the mirror.
Party Next Door are going to be sharing the losing spotlight together for. And with Drake being at this point where he is trying to do just about anything to win any of his former fans back, when we just look at his track record. In the past, he has also seen the success of what having an album release in the same window as another rival artist's album can do, as this is what happened when CLB and Donda dropped at the same time a few years ago, which really for the release of both albums made everything an even bigger spectacle than it ever was. And with this, what Drake has clearly shown based on his track record is that he definitely fares better by going head to head with someone, especially who is not a rapper album to album, as opposed to doing any sort of actual competitive rapping, because of course with that, he has now more than displayed that when the lights are bright in that regard, he will just never embarrass himself more. But even with this being clearly established, for whatever reason now, Drake has decided that in this time where hypothetically
I think Drake like embarrassing himself because he get put into these little skits. He getting beat in basketball. Y'all remember Marshawn Lynch had bow, stay down with the football joint. I think he like embarrassing himself at this point.
if this album were to be a success, he could disrupt everything Kendrick Lamar is about to do with the Grammys and the Super Bowl by getting back on the board with something people are talking about that is actually music related and not for all of the other ridiculous antics he has been in headlines about. He is just not ready to go up against The Weeknd, who leading up to this album did an entire stadium tour by himself amongst so much else. And really, with Drake sitting down and after questioning if he should release this big comeback record and try to go head to head with the other person who has been seen right alongside him for over a decade as the faces of their
Oh, he was with XQC on the stream and said, "Yeah, we don't listen to The Weeknd." That was The Weeknd playing, right? On that boy's stream. Yup. Yeah. So The Weeknd just might definitely have a jab. Yep. He might have a jab at Drake on his album.
entire city's music scene, coming to the decision that he is not going to drop this album on the same day as The Weeknd. While Drake is obviously not saying anything directly, it really seems like just by doing this, he is starting to reveal how much he has benefited from the system that was the music industry before just ruining the thing that made him a star in the first place. Because at this point, with him now being in the situation with his label that he is, and just like with Kendrick Lamar, The Weeknd is also signed to the same guys as they are. Between this already and the fact that Drake now knowing that because of how he handled the reaction to Not Like Us and what he is now trying to claim about its success, that the music industry and the people who have been making sure that his lame past few albums still did major numbers are not going to prop this thing up the way they have done in the past, and really with The Weeknd dropping on the same day who they have much more interest in, between The Weeknd being a bigger name everywhere because let's face it, from playing Super Bowls to stadiums when Drake can't even play arenas without other stars, beyond The Weeknd just being a bigger artist than Drake, even beyond stardom, the hype around his final album being way more interesting and promising to people than Drake's collab project with Party Next Door after Drake has never been in a worse place is something that even Drake has had to realize in this moment. And so with all of these factors working against him, Drake seemingly knows that while if he was able to release this project and have it outperform The Weeknd, it could be a way to at least get back some respect and hype from maybe not hip-hop fans, but casual listeners in general. Drake also knows that if he ends up losing this thing, which it seems like he almost will no matter what, he will not just cement his downfall by falling on the charts and losing in a head-to-head album matchup against someone who he has beef with, but he will also be ruining and losing whatever respect he has left in his own city, as after all their beef, which has been going on for years at this point, The Weeknd will be proving that when the stakes have never been higher, he has been the one to lead everything forward. And I mean, if Drake loses to The Weeknd in this time we're in his own city, Kendrick Lamar is already stepping over Drake by playing in bigger venues than Drake has ever had, then Drake will officially lose the last thing he is kinda holding on to. And while losing to Kendrick Lamar the way he did was really bad enough, as a lot of other artists are still figuring out where Drake has actually landed and just how bad of a place his career is in now. If Drake loses to The Weeknd as well, this is only going to make his reputation really plummet as being a loser. And for all the rappers and artists who still do strangely look up to him and want to collaborate on more music, which has included names
who strangely look up to him, like Lil Baby and 21 Savage, who still think that he got the what is called the stimulus package effect. Oh, Drake's still my guy. He's still my guy. He's still my guy. Yeah, all right, you hang in there. You see what's happening to your ass, boy.
Ranging from Lil Baby to even Central C, who after dropping his album Can't Rush Greatness, the first thing he is saying after having the most successful release of his career is that he now is going to release a song with Drake very soon. Altogether, if Drake becomes a guy who beyond losing to Kendrick Lamar is losing to everyone, even this last corner of hip-hop who is still supporting him and thinks he brings something to the table will back away. So overall, by Drake thinking about trying to make a comeback right when the weekend drops, but now he is realizing that he can't.
Hey, it's about time they came out with a new type of chain, man. For real, man. They need. Hey, look. I remember they came out with them choker chains, but I wasn't feeling it from the jump. For real. It's like that shit different now. It's like everybody walking around look like Mr. T.
And compete for all of the problems he has created himself, and now he is running away from this thing further than he ever has. He is really showing so much, but what the most clear thing to see is here is that after thinking he was better than every other artist, and even saying that Taylor Swift was the only person who could ever make him push a release date back, now,
man, what's up with him always putting his forehead on somebody in the picture? Get your damn forehead off the girl.
Date back. Now, even looking at that lyric, this is just another line from him that has aged terribly. Currently, with the situation Drake has placed himself in, where he has now just lost more fans than ever, and he's also lost the entire industry, and they are just done with him, period. What Drake is now realizing is that he can't get away with the things like he used to, and because he does not have the systems in place to hold up the lazy music he has been making like he once did, he knows and is really admitting by his silence that he will never be able to get a win against any of the biggest names in music again. And I mean, for Drake now being at a point where he just can't stop losing, and this is just another example of it, I mean, I guess with the industry no longer helping him, if he was like other people, it could force him to make music that is undeniably good. But with the current version of Drake we have seen, he has more than shown that he does not care about the art and craft of music, and from his performance in the Kendrick beef to his reaction after losing has only displayed this more and more. And so because of this, we know that he is not going to do this, and this is really why now whenever Drake ends up releasing this collab album with Party Next Door, despite how much he is going to pretend otherwise, when this next album drops, and it is now destined to fail, with the results that all of the people and the industry are going to see, it will really mark the end of everything for Drake. And so now with all this said, let me know, what do you think about Drake trying to drop his album when the weekend was dropping and then getting scared and pushing it back? And do you think he is going to regret this going forward, or do you think this was an actual good choice on his end? As this is such a massive moment already, no matter what happens from here, let me know what you think.
It's a good choice on his end, business-wise, because he know it's not gonna work out. But I think Drake just keep on forcing himself on the people. It shows in his personality that, oh, he's this type of guy. He like forcing himself. Y'all get what I'm saying, right? Forcing himself onto people. Y'all get what I'm saying? Academics and them, they force themselves, and it shows through his music. All right, we done told you we don't want to hear nothing from you, and he keep forcing himself on everybody. Nah, you need to listen to this. Nah, y'all need to listen to it. I don't know if any of y'all been in Manhattan before. You walking down the street, you like, nah, bro, I'm good. Here, I got some incense. I got some oils. Here, I got some incense. I got some oil. Nah, I'm good, bro. I got that. I brought some yesterday. Nah, I got. That's what Drake do. That's what Drake. I ain't knocking nobody hustle or nothing like that. Because I used to sell CDs and DVDs and all of that stuff. I used to do all of that. But the way Drake is trying to sell his music, he just need to go and sit down some dang. For real. Y'all let me know what y'all think, man. The Party Next Door or The Weeknd? Who y'all got? Who y'all got? See, Drake think he gonna be able to get with the Party Next Door and he just gonna bring him back to life. That ain't gonna happen. That ain't gonna happen. That is not gonna happen. Big Kish signing out. I'm gone, y'all.